Hi everybody, let's talk about some basic interview tips. Now I've got 21 of them here, so I'm going to allude to them and then we're going to talk about them a little bit, but they're so important. Some are going to be like, you know, duh, Craig, I get it, but some might be things that you just don't know or they just kind of go over your head that are very, very important. You know, we've interviewed literally hundreds of thousands of people since 1998, so these tips are pretty important. And just let's start with dress. How do you dress? You know, the saying goes, dress like you can afford to buy what you're selling. So when you go into a car dealership to interview for a position, basically any position, dress nicely. You don't want to overdress, but you certainly don't want to underdress. Dress like you can afford to buy that which you're going to be selling or what the related position in the dealership. Don't come in there and people can smell you the minute you walk in the front door, man. I can't tell you the number of people I've interviewed over the course of my life. I think they're in the car going, and they got cologne, they got perfume, and man, you can smell them from 20 feet away. It's offensive. Just don't do it. It's a big no-no. Have your clothes be neatly pressed. Now, you don't have to wear $1,000 suits in there. I mean, you know, you got what you got, but make sure that you're pressed, that your shoes are polished, that your nails are nice, that you have a clean, professional appearance. Again, regardless of the position that you're going to be interviewing for at the dealership. If you smoke, and you shouldn't, obviously, but if you do smoke, make sure that you throw a mint in your mouth prior to that interview, maybe a little bit of cologne or something to take some of that smell off of yourself, because to the non-smoker, it really is offensive, and you don't want to smell like a cigar factory when you're sitting across from a person interviewing for a position that could be worth, you know, a lot of money to you and be a real career. Body language is absolutely critical during the interview process. You know, don't be sitting there like this. That just reeks of being indifferent. It's no good. Eye contact. Don't be looking around like this. When an interviewer is speaking to you, look at them dead in the eye. It's important. They want eye contact. It's absolutely imperative that you do that. Active listening has a lot to do with your body language. Lean into the conversation. Now, you don't want to get into their face. You want to leave 6 feet or so personal body space between you and the interviewer, but be engaged. Really listen to them and let your body help you do that. Body language, very important. No sitting there, legs crossed, kind of like, you know, you don't care. I mean, you want this job, you want this career. So show them using your body that you do want it and you're enthusiastic about it. Turn off your cell phones. Turn off your cell phones. I can't tell you the number of times, I know it's mind-blowing, where I'll be interviewing someone, their cell phone goes off, and guess what they do? They answer it. And they'll say to me, could you hold on just a minute? My answer is no. Interview is over. Turn your cell phone off. Turn it off. If you have a situation that's an emergency, that's potentially happening at home or whatever, perhaps you shouldn't be interviewing for that job right then and there. Do not answer the phone. Turn that cell phone off prior to walking in to being interviewed. It's an absolute must. Get rid of the ums, get rid of the ahhs. You're going to have to practice. You know, if you want potentially a $30, $40, $50, $60, $70,000, $100,000 a year job or more, I would certainly think that you would want to practice for that. So that will eliminate the ums that we all use as a bridge, or the that really turns any interviewer off. Tell them what's in it for them in hiring you. What's the benefit for them to employ you at the dealership in whatever position that you're applying for? Tell them what's in it, what they get from the package that is you. Tell them very strongly what they're going to get. Do not ask about time off, vacation pay, you know, money during the interview. There's time for that, obviously, but during the interview, that's not it. Your job during that interview is to either get a second interview or to get hired. Now, you're going to have information about the job. You're going to have a general idea what it pays and so forth. But that's going to turn people off if that's your only focus during the interview. I know this because I've interviewed literally tens of thousands of people. So trust me on that one. Tie all your experiences together. Everything that you've done in your past and previous work experience and what all those things mean to the interviewer for the job or position that you're interviewing for right now. Tie them all together. Based on my successes in doing this, this, and that in this career or job, that transfers well, sir or ma'am, into this position here that you're looking to fill. So based on what I've done in my past, I know that that's going to give me a jump start in being able to fill the position that you're looking to fill and do it well. Slow down. Think of your answers. They're not sitting across from you saying, how quick can this person answer questions? Slow your mind down. Think about your answer. And then go ahead and answer the question and answer it honestly. But slow yourself down. It's not a problem. 0 negatives during the interview. So, why'd you leave your last job? Well, my boss was a moron. The work environment sucked. I hated the culture. The pay stunk. They wanted me to work really ridiculous hours. Stay away from those negatives. Stay away from those negatives. Just turn that around and say, well, I'm looking for a better opportunity. I'm looking to grow with a company like yours, and I think this is the perfect opportunity for me to do that. Or maybe that wasn't available to me at my last position. All right? That's taking those negatives and turn them into the positives. You know, a firm handshake. A firm handshake. No one likes that wimpy handshake. A good firm handshake. Now, you're not trying to break someone's hand, but you want a firm professional handshake. Now, just a little side note on that. Some people's hands, when they get stressed in a stressful situation, like a job interview could be, sometimes get a little moisture on your hand. Have a handkerchief or a Kleenex or something in your pocket. Give that a squeeze before you shake the person's hand. It'll take that out of there. People's names are very, very important to them. It's so often someone introduces themselves to me or to you or to anybody, and 5 seconds later we forget what the heck their name was. Well, when you're interviewing for a job, that's a worst possible thing. People like to hear their names. So when the interviewer introduces him or herself to you, say their name several times. Start with Mr. or Mrs. or Ms. and let them correct you. Only call them by their first name after they've given you permission to do so. Ask them what their perfect hire is. You know, Mr. Interviewer, let me ask you this. What's your perfect hire? Exactly what are you looking for? Shut up. Actively listen for the answer, and then just tell them, that's you. I can do all the things. I am your perfect hire. I can do everything that you've said that you're looking for, and the things that I haven't done yet, I'm such a quick learner and an active student, I'll learn those things like that. I'm the perfect hire. When the interview's coming to a close, you want to close. And here's your perfect opportunity. So, Mr. or Mrs. Interviewer, based on everything that I've heard during the course of this interview, I have no doubt that I can handle this job, handle this position at your dealership and handle it well. So let me ask you something. When do I start? And shut up. Oh, Craig, that's pretty bold. Well, yeah, that is pretty bold. Are you there for a job? Are you there for a career? Are you there to get your unemployment extended? I hope that's not the case. Or you're there because just someone told you to get off the couch and go interview for a job today. If you're really after a job, close them. When do I start? So what can happen after they do that? They try and put you off. Well, we got to speak to others, you know. That's fine. I understand that you have to speak to other people about the position. But keep in mind, I'm looking for a career. And I might not be available by the time that you're ready to hire me. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Give me a shot and let me do it right now. and shut up. Let's say they try to put you off again. Now, this is how far that we feel that you should go. Look, Mrs. Jones, I understand everything. I truly do. But here's how much I want to work here for you. Give me a shot at this. Pay me less than what the job calls for to start. Work me longer hours than anybody else here. I'll get here before anyone else, and I'll leave later than anyone else. Give me the very worst tasks to start with and see how I do with those. And then if you don't like me, get rid of me. But I really want to work here now for you. So when can I start? And shut up. They're going to have a hard time turning somebody like that down. You can bet me. Now, if they still put you off, and it can happen, don't just forget about them. I've had employees that have been with me 10 or 15 years that wouldn't allow me not to hire them. A follow-up email. Thank you so much for your time, sir. I really enjoyed our interview together. I hope that we get to work more together in the future. Please keep me in mind. And is there anything else I can do to convince you to give me a shot at working at your company? A phone call, a text, a handwritten letter. That's right. That still works. You can actually take a piece of paper, take a pen, write it out, address an envelope, and send it to them. Wouldn't it be nice to get something in the mail other than junk mail or a bill? It would get read. I could tell you this much, ladies and gentlemen, if you do what I've just told you to do, your resume, at the very, very least, is going to stay on the top of his or her pile. Now, if this doesn't sound like who you are as a person, well, Craig, okay, that sounds like a big sales pitch. That's not me. That's not me. Well, that's okay. And it might not be you. But if that's not you, then be prepared to get very, very used to a J-O-B, just over broke. If you don't want a career, if you're not serious about changing your life, about positively affecting your life and the lives of your family or friends and loved ones and what have you, then just, shoot from the hip and go in there and go through an interview. See, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes in life, when we're further away from our comfort zone, and this might be far away from some of your comfort zones, sometimes when we're the furthest away from what's comfortable to us, that puts us closer to the money. So those are some basic interview tips that I'd really like to see you work on, practice before you go in. And if you follow these basic tips, you're going to get that career that you've been looking for and deserve in your life. Good luck to all of you.